Namaste student, this is Sanjay Nath. Today's session is on Water Resources of India, Part 1, Chapter 6, ICSE Standard 10. As you can see on this the introductory visual, the water has been collected from a tap, another one is from a hand pump. This is what the real story of many developing countries. Now let's have a look about water resources in India in detail. Now we'll see what are the importance of water. Lifeline of living being. Definitely, water plays a very important role. You know that the planet Earth, more than 71% of the planet Earth is covered with water. It provides a life supporting element for all living things. It is primarily essential for agriculture. A country like India, where the primary practice is agriculture, water plays a very important role. Industries. Industries are the backbone of the nation. So without water, it's difficult for the think about industries to run. Apart from these three, hydropower generation is also done with the help of using water from the river system. It has also been used for as a means of navigation. We'll learn about this in later half of this chapter. Sources of sports and recreation. It can be also a part of recreation sports like coastal and beaches where water sports are famous. Now how the water has been distributed on planet Earth. As you can see, the larger part of the pie diagram is covered with yellow color. It represents the 71% of the water in the ocean that is saline in nature. A small part or segment of pie diagram is in blue color and this represents fresh water. Now how the water that reaches to us in different forms. As you can see, this is called the hydrological cycle. This hydrological cycle plays a very important role. It takes the water from the ocean and it brings back to the land and again it goes into the ocean. This particular idea or a natural process you might have learned in your lower grades. When the water get evaporate from the water bodies, it get condensed, it gets saturate and precipitate in the form of rainfall. It falls on the ground. It takes the path like rivers, streams and meet with the ocean. Many times the water is also seep into the soil and increase the water table that we can fetch with the help of tube wells and well system. Let's see the distribution of fresh water on planet Earth. As you can see in this pie diagram, as you can see the larger part of this pie diagram, 77% is in the form of glaciers and ice cap and 11% of groundwater and 11% of surface water is about at the approximate depth of 800 meters. Only 1% is lakes, rivers and streams that we use for our day-to-day need. Now let's have a look. So this is a very interesting pie diagram that represented how much water that human can access or use. All the water on earth is about 100%. Now out of 100%, if you see, is a very interesting statistics here. The larger part of this pie diagram is in blue color, represent that. As you can see that 99.7% is unusable by human and only 0.3% is usable by human. Now if we take out this 0.3% usable by, if we take out this small segment from the pie diagram usable by humans, it can be further put in the form of pie diagram, convert to 100%. Out of this 100%, beneath the earth's surface, groundwater is a larger part. And the blue segment over here, the darker one, represent the freshwater lake. And a very small segment of this pie diagram represent the river system. This is the distribution of water usable by humans on planet Earth. Now we'll see some facts about India. India is 3.2 million square kilometer of area. And out of 100%, the land area which mainly belongs to India is 2.5% out of 100%. The population of India is 17.3% out of 100% of world population. It is now exceeding 1.31 billion population. It may surpass China's population if it goes on like this. Livestock. Livestock is of 21%, the domesticated animals. And water resources is only 4%. This is what is a very alarming situation. Now we'll see the water resources of India from the statistical perspective. The annual precipitation in volume that includes snowfall, it covers 4,000 cubic kilometer of area that mainly falls on the area or Indian subcontinent part or mainly in India part. The average annual potential flow in river due to this precipitation is 1,869 kilometer cubic. Now out of this, the estimated utilizable water resources is 1122 cubic kilometers. In this there are two categories: the water that remains on the ground in the form of rivers, lakes and ponds called surface water. It covers 690 cubic kilometer of water. These are all approximate statistics. And beneath the ground, the water went seep beneath the ground and from those underground water reservoirs are called The groundwater resources is about 432 cubic kilometer of area. These were the approximate statistics of how much water that every year the India distributes beneath the ground or on the surface of the earth. What are the sources of water in India? Precipitation, total volume is 4000 cubic kilometer. Monsoon provides 3000 cubic kilometer approximate and followed by shallow cyclonic depressions. These add-ons to the remaining volume of precipitation in India. It also been added by some local storms. Now we'll see what are the requirements for various purpose or use of water. Primarily in India, the usage of water is more in food grain production. Now we'll see what are the requirements for the various purpose in India. India is a developing country where we can see the India is a developing country. Here you can see the food grain production require a lot of water, followed by that large population require a lot of water that we call it the domestic use of water, followed by that irrigation. Many parts of India doesn't receive equal amount of rainfall. There is imbalance. These areas of water has been provided with the help of artificial mode of irrigation. India is also bestowed with numerous rivers, and these rivers become the primary source of hydropower stations, generate electricity. Followed by that, industrial water requirement. India also use a lot of water in industrial sector that is mainly used for the manufacturing process. It is this is what the this is the list of requirements of various purpose in large scale. How do we fulfill these requirements? As such, these pictures are very clear to understand where are the large scale requirement of water has been there. Irrigation is artificial way of providing the water for agricultural practice. As you can see in this picture, farmers been diverting the water towards the agricultural field to provide water to the plants. Now we'll understand what is irrigation. This canal is a part of irrigation system. River is not irrigation. River is a natural source of water. It provides water that can be diverted via canals, and these are called the irrigation modes. First one, what is the need for irrigation? The first reason, as you can see, this is a map of India. This represents annual precipitation. The annual precipitation of India is not the same at all the places. Geographically, location of India is near tropics. Here the rainfall is some places good, some places less. Due to the uneven distribution of rainfall, there are places where requirement of water is there for irrigation purpose in agricultural practice. Second important reason, what is the need for irrigation? Different crops. These are some of the list of the primary crops that has been widespread grown in India. Two cash crop and two food grain crops. Wheat. Wheat requires 75 to 100 centimeter of rainfall per annum. Millet required 50 centimeter. It is not much, is less compared to these two cash crops. Sugarcane. As such, India has become the leading in sugarcane production in the world and require 150 to 300 centimeter of water throughout the year. Rubber is one of the very commercial crop. It requires 250 centimeter of rainfall throughout the year. The third important reason, as you can see, the picture is louder than any context here. This picture shows that in the arid region, example Rajasthan, Gujarat, central Maharashtra, Vidarbha, these areas the rainfall is less. These are the leeward side of the hills or the mountain. Now here the population is to walk a long distance to fetch water from different sources. So there is one reason. There's another reason for need for irrigation. The fourth important reason behind why there is requirement of irrigation. To suffice the need of growing population, we need a lot of food supply. As you can see in this graph, x-axis and y-axis representing quantity and y-axis representing the quantum or the time. The blue curve is showing the population growth. It is unchecked. The red color line represents the food supply. So this supply demand curve represents there is a high demand of food, but due to the increase in population, the food supply is always remain less. As you know that the theory of R.J. Malthusian, any developing country's population that increase with geometric rate and the food supply or the resources increase with arithmetic rate, there will definitely be a disparity or contrast. There are some of the miscellaneous reasons or need for irrigation. Rainfall is seasonal in India, uncertain, uneven and sporadic. And you know that different crops have different requirement of water. That also plays a very important role. What is indispensable in semi-arid region or arid region? For example, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, and Rajasthan. And there is an urgent need of extending the frontiers of cultivation. Reason? A day-to-day need of food grain or supplies, and that mainly require in the semi-arid regions. Thank you for watching the presentation.